forgive any background noise. I've got my 3D printer working away. This is just so it's got quite a few dents in the cardboard, a bit ropey the cardboard. Thermoelectric cooler, so like a finger protector, fan guard. It's some like spongy type material with a cut out pattern on, so they can just like pop out presumably. Got some, looks like a very heatsink compound, very small. Got a set of screws, various screws are there, mainly look like fan screws to me. But some have standoffs, they're probably for locking down the heatsink, the ones with stands off, so it doesn't put too much pressure on. Got a nice big fan. Can I get this opened? Well, let's take out this heatsink. Oh, there's two heatsinks wedged together here. Very nice machined surface on there, as you can see. Two bolt holes, kind of, because those are wedged together. This is a scrape I use for getting parts off my bed, or as curved corners I would say, so don't stick in your print bed. I can get that under there and start levering it out using leverage, so get a smaller heat sink, that's for the cold side, and a bigger heat sink for the warm side, for the hot side. Can I, this is not sharp, so I don't know. There you go, so there's the fan. DC 12 volts. Hey. No Peltier. No, it's just a cooling kit. I was expecting a Peltier with this. Luckily I do have one, but no Peltier there. Two heat sinks. I was about to measure them. This sort of sponge thing which goes around the Peltier, I believe. So you keep the outside, remove the inside, and there's like cutouts for the wires and cutouts for just push out for the balls. Bag of nuts and balls. Big fan. Clamp on there presumably. One screw on there. So that will go that side. Yes, those two holes do line up. I'll just get some measurements for you. So this fan is 90 millimeters. Square. Yep, by 25. 90 by 25. Quite a biggish fan. 12 volts. Yep, 12 volts. This is a bag of screws. Let's measure these heat sinks. So I'm just going to I'll measure the fin size. So 40 by, I think this is squared, 40. 45, say, maybe 44. By the height of the heatsink, just the heatsink is 20, but the back of this one for the cold side is 60 by 45, say 44, and that is quite thickish. It's 4mm. Let's say that's 4mm. So you have to add that on. This one, this back is 95 by 100. Let's measure this really polished machined area here. Really polished that. That's 62 by 50, so it's not square. I reckon well, the height of the fins is 20, and I'm just going to measure this inside collection of fins here. 40, so there 40's got some more fins there, and like these hose hooks, I think these are going to be a problem. That's bent, that. Oh, it isn't half bent. That is extremely bent. See that gap under there? What about the polished surface? The polished surface looks flat, which is the main part, I think. So it seems to be these edges here are bent up. That might be deliberate design, because it does seem that it certainly goes thinner there. So it got thickish here, then the aluminium here to the edges goes thinner. It gradually gets thinner and thinner. So I think that's part of the design to be bent like that. So it's not going to affect the heat, because this part is flat. See that? Get this in the camera. So if you look at the edges there, you see that the edges have a gap on, but this polished part where the Peltier goes does not. What's this one like? Is this flat? Yes, that one's flat. Squeaky flat. Right, but no Peltier. No instructions, no nothing. So assume that this goes on here with the knockouts, and you put the Peltier cell device on here, 2 wires coming out, then you put this on. Well, I would have it on that, yes, it does go that way. Bolt it on using the ones with standoffs. Screw the fan on, with the guard, remembering to use heatsink on the Peltier, heatsink paste on the Peltier. And there we are. That's how I suppose it goes. That one's to go up that way, doesn't it? Because it is raised a bit this side. Now, depending which way you have the fan round, it might depend, because one side, this side, will be blowing out. Sometimes I put markings on fans. Yes, I do have markings on this fan. Don't know if you can see them. So the air is blowing that way, rotating that way. Normally it blows out the label. So I don't know if you want it blowing that way, which would probably be normal way, blowing into the heatsink. I'll probably want mine coming out, because of the way I want airflow for my humidity device. Now I'm going to have to redesign totally. This is my sort of humidity unit, but there's no way all this is going to fit in there. Did some experiments, didn't work out very well. So there's a drawer to go in there and catch humidity. So I'm going to have to totally redesign. So I got my shadows here for this unit. Right, but that's just to show you that no Peltier device. I'm going to check the listing online. So that will be, let me try and get a measurement of all of that, because that will be the depth of all of it together. Remembering there's a guard on that, so that's about 4 or 5 millimeters. I'd say you want 90 millimeters there, at least 85 to allow for from that to that. Don't forget that you probably want a big gap on the side of, well, the heatsink. You don't want it actually touching the heatsink. So that's about the total of all of them. In a way, that's with the Peltier, because I've got this, which is about the thickness of a Peltier from there. Right, I put together. I had a bit of difficulty putting these screws in. I had to almost force a Phillips screw in here, in the hole, make it a tiny bit bigger, and twist the screws in. Don't forget to put these bolts on first, because the fan covers over the 2 bolt heads. Right, I've got this powered again to my ATX here, 12 volts jumped out of it. And this is the first time I really use it. I did try this on 3 volts just to find out which is a cold and which is a hot side. I got the hot side going to the big heat sink here, and the cold side going to the smaller heat sink, basically. I know 3 volts, yeah, it does get a bit of a chill on it. So even at 3 volts it's getting a chill. So this is at 12. Let's put on. Fan's turning, yep. Most of the noise is coming from the ATX fan. This is pretty quiet. I'm going to give it a few moments. Let's get now this is silver, so it's a bit dubious taking temperatures off silver, but we've got 28 there. 25 ambient, I would say. Normally it doesn't take very long to get warm. Let's say in 25, let's have a feel. Yeah, that is getting cold. Ooh, that is getting very cold. So long as the hot side doesn't get too hot, because it's taking away the heat that is the main issue. Now I've got the fan blowing this way, blowing outwards, which is the way I want it, because I want it to be sucking air in if possible. Normally I think fans would want to be blown inwards, so to speak. But I've got mine blowing out okay. And I think I can see some frost forming on there. Now, as I say, silver, that is colder than 23, I can tell you that. That is very cold. Anyway, I'm going to stick it in here. Will it fit? No, not that way. Well, it will fit that way round. So that's to catch any water that might form on here, any moisture go below the dew point, and it will condense the water out and go in this tub here. I tried that with the last thing I put together, which wasn't too good. I don't think the fan was very good. Yes, I can feel warm air blowing out of there. That is cool. Oh no, it's warm. Let me have a look. So that's suggesting 29 coming out the hot side. What's ambient temperature? 25. Let's see if I can get the cold side. No, not really, I don't think. Or 9, is that 9? 9 degrees, yeah. In a few moments. Now again, I'm going to give this quite a bit of time, because I want this to build up any heat mass of heat in it. Because it will store, you know, if it's cold, the heat's got to go into the thing before, into the fins, so to speak, before the heat can be blown out by this fan. So the air is getting sucked in past the fins, mainly on this side, because the other side will be just about covered up. I'm blowing out the back, and I can certainly feel the warmth there on my hand. Let's give that a few more moments. 12 volts, both the fan and the Peltier. Let's try and, so it's suggesting about 30 there on the warm side. That's not too bad because we've got the fan there and that's dark. Let's try on the silver on the warm side. Suggesting 28. Let's try on this cold side here, 6 degrees. Right, I'm going to give it 5 or 10 minutes and then I'll come back, okay? Give that a chance to stabilise. That is, the heatsink is pretty warm. Not too hot, but pretty warm. Well, it's been over 10 minutes and I can definitely see sort of condensation forming on the cold side. It's got the warm side, which is 30 running at. So check 32 on the fins. See the cold side. Going pretty close. 6 degrees. I would have thought it'd be even colder than that, but don't forget I am blowing air outwards, not blowing air under the fins. And I think there's less force of the air going across the fins. That does feel, oh yeah, it feels warm. It's sort of weird, it feels warm in parts and cold in others. Just feeling it with the edge of my palm there. I think I see this plate here is pretty warm. Its thickness, it's thicker and then it goes thinner and it bends. Part of the design is to bend, but it has been machined flat for the Peltier. Let's touch the cold side. Oh, that is pretty cold, yes. There's my alarm, I can see it. Well, it's been 1 3/4 hours. I moved it just to get it out here. So actually I think one drop has gone down into this plastic tub I've got to catch any water here. We have a feel of the warm side. Warm. We'll call it quite warm but not hot. Warmth blowing out the cold side. Cold side, ooh, very cold. That's suggesting 13, 12. This is silvery, so you can't get a good reading of this. Not properly. I think it's less than that actually. 33 on the warm side. But get the ambient about 26. Well, I've left it on all night and probably can see the amount of condensation on the, so if I give that a shake you might see the drops of water coming off. That's one thing, is that quite a bit of the water actually drops on the, stays on the fins. I was thinking, I wonder if you can get a hydro, what is it, scopic or whatever, like spray that you probably can. How good that would be, or non-stick or something, but not affect. Just try and get a few more drops of those water off. And it's quite a bit of muck in this. This has been laid about this tub. I'll just pour it into here so you can see. Quite a bit of water. So obviously that works. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this fan around just as a test so that it is blown, because at the moment it's blown this way, like, so it's sucking air in past the fins and out, pushing it out through the back where I can feel it. Sorry, pardon me. This, oh, that is very cold. That is very cold, that side. I'm surprised that that isn't actually freezing. As I say, can't really rely on this on silver surfaces. -1. Oh, yeah, that's probably about right. So why isn't it freezing if that's -1? Warm side 32, so it's colder now than like last night. I don't understand what's going on. To be honest with you, I haven't changed the voltage yet. I've moved it about a bit, just because I wanted to, I thought to myself, well, if it, get a lot of water and this overflows, I wanted somewhere where it's not going to cause some damage. Let's check that again. -2. So that should freeze, you would think. But it doesn't seem to be freezing. I mean, there's drops of water on here and they aren't freezing. I mean, it doesn't, it's warm. It's like hottish, but not very, very hot. It's like a, can't describe it. That's pretty warm. It's not over hot. It's nowhere near as hot as the other experiment I did with the other heat sinks. I'm just trying to shake any water off. So if that's minus, why isn't it freezing? There's definitely drops of water on there. So the idea basically works. Oops, catching the fan before I I'll have to stand it up like that. I want to stand it up so that the water doesn't drip off a bit. I'll put it in there, because this edge of this is stopping some of the air a little bit. Well, not stopping it, but maybe slowing it down. So 0. -1. As I say, this is on a, it's not quite silvery, it's more like an aluminium, silvery grey, especially at the moment with a bit of moisture on, I think. I'm going to leave that a few moments to see if that freezes. Right, I've changed the fan round, whereas before it was sucking air in through the fins and blowing it out the back. Now it's blown into the fins, and I have a feeling this will work better. Turn it on. I've tried to dry as, well, not dry, but shake as much water off here as possible. A few seconds. Normally it doesn't take too long to start getting cold. Oh, still ambient. It's getting very cold now. I don't think that's freezing. Let's have a look. Try and get the warm side. 28. Try and get the cold side. Again, reminding you this is silver, so not ideal. Well, silverish. Aluminium silver. 4 degrees. Ambient temperature 25 odd. Feels warm actually today. do have a window slightly ajar. Right, I'll give this a few more minutes or turn off the video, but I'll leave it on. Right, forgive any background noise, I've got my 3D printer on. That's suggesting 10 degrees, so that's above ambient temperature. Sorry, I mean it's above freezing. That's suggesting 31. And ambient temperature is 25. And that is blowing air onto the fins. Feel just as hot as when I was blowing air the other way, so there doesn't seem any immediate advantage doing that. Let me hold it up here a bit, give it a few seconds, because this will be stopping some of the, restricting some of the air being in the tub to a certain extent. Don't forget, when this is mounted in a box or whatever, that will also restrict some of the airflow to a certain extent. Now it's on 0 on the cold side. Still liquid, not freezing. So being in the box certainly impacts, certainly seems to impact on it. It's still liquid there, no ice. Give it a few more seconds, a few more, couple of, well, maybe almost a minute. To be honest, I don't want it to freeze in my case, but electronics could overcome that, switching it on and off. Every time you switch it off, presumably some of the heat from the hot side will transfer to the cold side and melt any ice off. Of course, now I've heard that you can reverse the polarity of these, but I would not recommend doing that, because it's supposed to be like NP junctions in or something, and if they are, it's not going to do your NP junction any good. Still no ice. I'll hold it out here for a few more moments to see if that looks like it's going to turn to ice.